Good day, achievers. I am China Mevriquillo.
And I am Kyla Liwag, and you are watching TCWD News. Let us have a glance at the headline first.
As part of sustainability, United Nations established 17 Sustainable Development Goals. All UN member states endorsed the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development in 2015, which provides a shared roadmap for peace and prosperity for people and the planet today and in the future. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals, also known as SDGs, are at its core, and they represent an urgent call to action for all countries, developed and developing, to work together in a global partnership. They understand that eradicating poverty and other forms of deprivation must be combined with efforts to enhance health and education, decrease inequality, and boost economic growth, all while combating climate change and protecting our oceans and forests. Before proceeding to the decoding part, let us hear from Trisha Marie Joaquin. Trisha, can you tell us more about the Sustainable Development Goals?
Yes, Shaina. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals are the following: end poverty and hunger, promote well-being, quality education, gender equality, water and sanitation for all, affordable and sustainable energy, decent work for all, technology to benefit all, reduce inequality, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption by all, stop climate change, protect the ocean, take care of the earth, live in peace, and mechanism in partnerships to reach the goals.
Thank you, Trisha. Now, among the 17 sustainable goals, which do you think is the most achievable and why?
The most attainable goal is to reduce inequalities. We can combat inequalities by collaborating between the public and private sectors, as well as individuals. Well-established businesses can improve economic inclusion by providing respectable jobs and higher wages, as well as an abundance and variety of existing human welfare advocacy. We can improve social services and ensure that people have access to social safety nets, make safe migration and mobility easier, and address irregular migration. According to the European Commission, this also encourages pro-poor economic policies and the development of equitable and transparent tax system. If we achieve this goal, we will be able to gradually end poverty and hunger, promote well-being and gender equality, and provide decent work for all.
How about the least achievable and why?
The most difficult goal to achieve is the development of sustainable cities and communities. Urbanization is one of the most important trends of the 21st century, but it also brings with a new slew of challenges. According to the Swiss Federal Department of Foreign Affairs in 2021, cities have a huge environmental impact, accounting for 3/4 global resource use and 75% of the global emissions, despite occupying only 3% of the Earth's surface. Despite the use of cutting-edge technologies and scientific innovations to promote sustainable energy for society, it can keep up with the population's constant growth, and the majority of these people can afford to accommodate sustainable energy.
Trisha, which of the following do you believe citizens all over the world should prioritize right now? Could you elaborate it?
Citizens must focus on addressing climate change and becoming a part of the solution to this problem as soon as possible. Following the release of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change's new report on April 6 this year, over 1,000 scientists from 25 different countries protested. Significant reduction in greenhouse gas emissions are required by 2025. According to the research WIF, to avoid catastrophic climate effects, according to NASA scientists, we only have 3 to 5 years to make a decision to save the planet from climate change before it is too late. So let us be part of the solution and join the Let the Earth Breathe movement.
Thank you, Trisha. Now, how can ordinary citizens assist in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals?
That's a great question, China. We can help ourselves and our fellow citizens by getting an education and volunteering our time to teach others. Self-discipline by purchasing only what we need. Offer our skills and participate in charitable and community activities. Finally, we can join the movement to consume responsibly, zero hunger.
Next question, Trisha. What should we do collectively to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals?
China, in my opinion, we can work together to achieve the aforementioned goals by providing a healthy workplace for business owners and management. Reduce, reuse, and recycle, as well as being considerate and responsible with water use. Donating to community organizations that promote betterment and help to achieve meaningful goals.
Thank you, Trisha, for providing us with the most recent updates and insights into the sustainable goals. It is now time for a brief commercial break. Stay with us!
Hi guys! Do you have time for a few quick questions? I see you're having a lot of fun, but do you ever stop and think if what you do is sustainable? And do you know what sustainable development means? Sustainable development is to make the world a better place for everyone now without destroying the possibilities for the next generations. If you wonder if something is sustainable, you can ask yourself, can we do this over and over again forever? Sustainable development means that we need to keep three things in mind at once: social progress, economic development, and climate and environment. First of all, we have to take care of our planet. We have many natural ecosystems that must be in balance in order for us to live here. Using the lasting sources of energy that renew themselves is good for the planet and can provide jobs for years to come. Economics. The smarter we use our natural resources and the better systems we create for a fair distribution, the more sustainable we are. Social progress. We humans are part of nature, but we're also important resources for the world. Just like water, the forest, and the sun, we have minds that can create the strangest and most creative things. But for us to be the best versions of ourselves, there are certain things that must be in order, like having equal opportunities to education, safety, food, and medicine. This provides greater opportunities for us as human beings, but also for the planet. We just have to think in new ways. These three must work together. That is sustainable development.
Good day, everyone. I am Cheska Joyce Priya.
And I'm John Osis Adornas, and we're going to discuss with you information about the sustainable economic system stability and sustainability.
To begin, there was a widespread belief that the global economy had evolved into a zone of extreme uncertainty and risk during the first decade of 21st century. It is worth recalling that a dimension of crisis began in 2007. It wasn't just another downturn in the business cycle. It was a serious breakdown that called into question the foundation of modern approaches to welfare creation.
Collapsing financial markets, rising unemployment, deeper inequalities, a shrinking middle class, extreme indebtedness, and government's inability to impose reforms were just some of the symptoms of the global crisis. Ulrich Beck, a German sociologist, predicted these events in 1986 and coined the term risk society.
This is where the conversation about stability and sustainability begins. Let's hear first from Ms. Shane Ortega about these issues. Ms. Shane?
Yes, John and Cheska, the word stability connotes firmness in place, permanence, and resistance to change. It is defined by the International Monetary Fund in 2012 as avoiding big swings in economic activity, excessive volatility in exchange rates and financial markets, as well as significant inflation. Indexes that describe the economy in short-term categories are referred to as this. According to Keynote of 2009, every economy goes through times of fast growth every few years. Demand increases, inflation rises, and unemployment falls, followed by depression with reversal effects.
Does this mean excessive highs and lows should be avoided?
That is right, John. Extreme highs and lows should be avoided at all costs.
With that said, Shane, could you share with us the appearances with the correlation these excessive highs and lows under stability?
The Great Depression began in 1929 with the dramatic collapse of prosperity and overproduction. However, a few years later, in the 1970s, the global crisis opened the doors to new economic ideas, including monetarism, which is defined as a control over the amount of money in circulation based on the idea of stability. This is a monetary theme that is considered a beneficial move for the economy.
According to our research, Milton Friedman began to dominate world capitalism. What do you have to say about that? And what do you know about this man?
So Milton Friedman was an American economist and statistician who believed strongly in free market capitalism. This month's economic theories evolved into the military scene that I mentioned earlier and what it is all about. In his book, A Monetary History of the United States from 1867 to 1916, Friedman emphasized the role of monetary policy in courting and possibly prolonging the Great Depression.
Thank you, Miss Shane. Now, let's hear from Angelica Calipes. Miss Angelica, can you tell us about capitalism?
Yes, Jessica. Global capitalism refers to capitalism that extends beyond national borders in recognition of the three periods or epochs that preceded it. Is regarded as capitalism for impact.
Aside from the Great Depression, are there other crises in the past?
Yes, Jessica, a lot happened in the 1990s, and the world economics collapsed with the Asian financial crisis in 1997, which was the fall of the currency exchange rate and the bursting of the hot money bubble. The Thai baht plummeted and raced into East and Southeast Asia in the aftermath of the Russian crisis. The Russian crisis occurred during the country's transition from the communist to the pre-market economy during the first decade of the country's transformation. The Soviet Union, which is Russia, was the most important member, had a central planned economy with a fixed price system, full employment, and modest economic disparities. After the Russian crisis, disaster occurred in Argentina, wherein the Argentine economic crisis of 1999 to 2003 resulted in the sharp reduction in GDP and a significant increase in poverty and employment. Russian politicians and political institutions in Argentina was already at the all-time low in 1919, owning the part of the previous crisis and the fact that the country economic distribution had become significantly more uneven in the 1990s.
It seems that those crises were primarily blamed on the massive political police, but their contagion implications were incredibly concerning.
That's right, but since 2007, many countries have been giving their best effort to restore stabilization.
Okay, thank you so much, Angelica, for your excellent insight. Let's take a brief break before moving on to the next topic. Everyone, please stay with us.
And welcome back! Checking about sustainability, according to the Brundtland Report, development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs deserve the title of sustainability. For detailed information, we have our reporter Ralph Malacaste. Ralph, could you please elaborate on this subject?
Thank you, Shaina. Sustainability considered long-term capacities of system to exist, not short-term the system to change. In 1987, Britain deployed from Board Commission on Environment and Development state that development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to make their own needs deserve the level of sustainability.
Speaking of future generations in the present, technology has become a fantastic escape from the sustainability dilemma.
That's a fact, Shaina. We can document the new classical growth hypothesis that was first developed in 1956 by Robert Solow and Trevor Swan can be connected with technology and sustainability. New classical growth theories and economic theory that explain how the concept rate of economic growth is achieved by interaction of this force, labor, capital, and technology. The idea also contains that technological change has a significant impact on economy, and that economic growth cannot be sustained without them. That's always one model from this theory, so the only chance of innovation doesn't populate a continuous production output to capital and labor inputs, and leads to the economy steady state equal.
According to what you mentioned, a sheer increase of the number of resources added to input could lead to diminishing marginal returns. Only new ideas in technology and organization made it possible to overtake the steady state of zero growth and induce development without increasing resources.
It is true. We also have another theory entitled New Growth Theory by Paul Romer and Robert Lucas, which arose in 1980s that resumes the desire and wants the populace will drive ongoing productivity and economic growth. Indigenous factors like human capital education were recognized as crucial for growth, and their application was free from state classical resources.
However, throughout the 19th century, the problem of sustainability was concerned with a wide range of societal issues. In early industrial capitalism, modern discussion and sustainability were primarily concerned with environmental issues.
That is also correct. Those mentioned issues was reinforced by the famous book Tragedy of Common wrote by Gard Hardin in 1968, which analyzed how public goods got exhausted by actors in a free market economy.
Thank you, Ralph. We can conclude that sustainability perspectives started to be visible, not only in the environmental area, but also on the theme of overpopulation.
Therefore, rapid increase in human population has led to an overexploitation of the Earth's natural resources, such as fresh water, agricultural land, and fossil fuel. And that is all for today. For further information, you can check our website www.tcwd.com. Till the next time, take care.